Man,
Yes,
that was a
sir.
good one. Brandon, I hope you got to hear some of that, brother. I hosted a builder's call. I asked one question, and then I had to just write notes for 35 minutes. Comments were coming out. So good.
Yeah, buddy. Good call today too, brother.
Spivey's audio messed up for you as well.
Yeah, he's
A
back
little
in.
bit, Spivey, your microphone.
Okay, cool. Just making sure I didn't need to jump off and jump back on. Man, I wish I would have heard more of it. I'll get the download from you, Spivey, later. Oh man, it's good to see everybody. Max Day in the Hall of Bonsais. Ryan Miller's looking good. Brad Smith with the best background of anybody in the company still.
It does. It looks awesome.
It's good to see everybody. By the way, I've got a new holiday sweater. What do you think?
I don't know if that qualifies, but
No, it's a candy cane.
right colors, I guess. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Do we have a video that we're playing?
We do. Can y'all hear me better now?
Yes,
Gotcha
sir.
now, yep. I'm gonna veil out.
Leads.
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 Leads. The best quality leads.
Our leads have to be effective, first of all. We don't want to give our sales force leads that are not effective, where clients are not expecting the call or they don't know what you're calling about. And so they have to be effective, but they also have to be affordable.
The more families you're able to get in front of because you can afford more activity, obviously the more success you're going to have. And the more effective the leads are, the more closes you're going to get.
We have generated specific campaigns based on audience personas that align with different demographic groups, different age groups, based on geographical location, different financial needs throughout life. So we're able to find individuals that would benefit from any of the products that the company offers throughout any phase of life.
So here in the leads department at Quility, we do everything from the first initial contact with a customer all the way to selling the leads to our agents so they can follow up. We subsidize a lot of the cost of those leads so agents can invest more back into their business.
We are a lead generating company that is not trying to profit from generating leads. We make our money as a company by impacting families and selling insurance and helping them with that. And I do think it's important that all of our lead programs that we've rolled out, they've been thoroughly vetted. We know that they're very effective and they're the most affordable leads on the market because we're covering a large cost of that.
The leads are really the lifeblood of our organization. It's what drives our business. It's what keeps our agents successful and keeps their cash flow consistent.
Without the leads, we would not have a business.
So as a new agent with Symmetry, you get on the phone and talk to someone, they know why you're calling. They're expecting you to call, and it's just tremendous.
I will not be in this business still if it wasn't for the Symmetry leads.
The leads are the breadth of everything that we do.
The leads are everything. Without the leads, I don't think we'd be doing, we wouldn't be playing the game that we're playing.
Leads, man.
Yes. And we're right on the front edge of that story too, aren't we, buddy?
Yes, we are. There's a lot of exciting things coming on that first of the year. We were hoping to roll some things out today, and we are rolling a few things out. But man, there's so many amazing things kind of coming up behind the scenes just on the lead piece alone. Hopefully, an exciting meeting we've got coming up next week. So let me go ahead and get us started. I think I've got a PowerPoint queued up. Got some exciting announcements. A few rollouts. Casey, you can see my screen just fine, right?
Gotcha.
All right. First off, let's hit some leaderboards. I'm not going to fly through them like last week, but our top first-time writer for the week, Wasif Ali, $11,112. Way to go, buddy. Top 10 producers, top 3 producers. I think I say that every week. For years, I said top 10, but I should say start saying top 3. Ashley Richard, Elijah Curo, and Mark Jaffe, $24,000
Nice.
a week. Not too shabby. Elliot Freer wrote 17 apps. Harrison Zipkin wrote 18, and Ashley Richard wrote 30. 30 apps. Casey, you never did 30 apps in 2 weeks. Maybe you did. Did you?
Maybe a couple times.
Might have. Not during that drought where you went like 0 for 64, though. Remember that?
The old fish tail that keeps getting
The old fish tail that keeps on growing. Top Med Sup producer was Melvin K. One Med Sup for almost $4,000. Not too bad. Just tripping over it. Top disability producer was John Bost. $2,222. Top IUL producer was Michael Burns. You don't think that's a typo, do you? $50,750. That's a good one. And if you're only going to do one,
there you go.
There you go. Top annuity producers, Mark Jaffe, $757,601. That's going to make for a happy holiday. Top DFL producer, Ashton DeLongalunde, $12,984. That's a big week, just like your last name. And it's a really awesome last name. Have you taken the time to really study that last name? DeLongalunde.
DeLongalunde. That's a good name.
It's a great name. Look how many capital letters are in there. That might be like a record for number of capital letters. Mark, give me your breakdown on DeLongalunde, where you think that name originates, where the family is from, and why are there 3 capital letters in that name? Palmer, what do you got?
I'm going to say I'm going with Portugal.
You want Portuguese? Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, Portuguese, Brazil. I don't know why, but it seems like, a merger of a couple dialects into something there. It looks pretty interesting to me. Looks like I need to do some research.
I think I'm going to do some research. I'd like to see a family tree if we can. DeLongalunde, if you don't mind sending us over your 23andMe. My mom made it up. Here, listen to this.
Yeah.
Here's Ashton right here. My mom made it up. I don't have the same name as my parents or siblings. There's a lot of ways we can go with this.
Wow.
Like hiding from the mob. There's hitman potential here. I mean, there's all kind of great stuff, Ashton. I really want to have a conversation with
that's interesting.
DeLongalunde.
That's a story.
And I really want to have a conversation with mom.
Yep.
You have an opportunity. Like your whole look, man. You got the whole world in front of you, man. You got a whiteboard. You can come up with whatever name you want, and you have the brilliance enough to come up with DeLongalunde.
Yep.
I probably would have come up with like Watkins or Smith or
throw a few capital letters in the mix too. Why not?
I love this. I really do love this. This is name of the year winner. I think we can shut the voting down, and the trophy should go to Mrs. DeLongalunde. All right, where are we? Sorry. That might be the sidebar of all sidebars. Total recruits for the week, Ashley and Tyler tied with Brad and Kira Gainey with 6, Dan and Diane with 5 in the base, Jacob Pogue with 43 total recruits in the direct organization. Brad and Kira with 6 licensed recruits. Jacob Pogue and Kevin Purdy with 14. Look at Wayland in there with 12. Fantastic. New writers to date, Eric Ondrick with 4. Sean Shannon with 10 in the direct organization. And here are all our SNAs. See your names. There they are. Your favorite last name?
Such a domino effect. We were talking about key metrics on the last call, Brandon, and why everyone should be focused and paying attention to that. And this is an engagement. This is an engagement metric that we look at on a weekly basis in the home office. And every agency owner, every leader, I don't care if you're an agency, if you're not an agency owner yet, you should be looking at key metrics around engagement. And one of them is going to be, am I getting people to be SNAs, seasoned new agents, and if people aren't plugging on the conference calls, they're not teaming up on your huddle ups, if they're not paying attention and you're not getting the targets in front of new people, then you're not going to get new SNAs. All we did, Brandon, was put a focus on a target for SNAs. We didn't say you're going to get a $1,000 bonus if you hit it. We send you a Yeti cup in the mail. But other than that, all we did was say, hey, here's a target. You should try to get to X amount of sales in your first 6 weeks with us. And if you do that, you're an SNA. And we went from getting 3 a week to, I don't know what the average is right now, but it's a lot. in
It
a
is a
very
lot.
short period of time. And then that affects everything after. It affects how many agency owners we have. It affects, and beyond that, everything kind of trickles up from there. So it's kind of one of those early dominoes in the equation.
Like it. Very well said, buddy. Best two last names on this list. Who would you go with? Hornberger and Fernbacher?
Sure. Yeah. Why
Those are
not?
my picks. All right. SNAs, and I like this leaderboard a lot. Which managers are popping out the most SNAs? Karen Reed for the week with 2, and on the directs we've got tied for 3. Pogue, Newsom, Weagle. Well done. Leaderboards for the week on key leaders. Julie Mai, 22,998 as the number 1 producer, number 1 key leader rather. Ernie James Johnson. I don't know if that's really what EJ stands for, but that's what I'm going with. $36,418. Way to go, EJ.
Nice.
Top agency director, Larry and Ann Griffin, $122,000. Top regional agency director, Eileen Balmer, just continues to stay right there, almost $150K. Top MVP, George and Janet Matthews, also just shy of $150K. Kyle and Lisa Kimbrell for the top senior vice presidents, $205,174. Good to see old Spill Dinners organization right there, strong as can be, man. Top executive vice president, Mr. Carl Miller, $153,000. Top associate partner, Lynn Watkins, $610,000. Way to go, man. Top senior partner, Easy Eddie Pritchett with $940,000. And the top managing partner, I've heard rumors that this might be the last time that Marshall Whalen sits alone in this category.
Yes.
We'll see. $909,000 for Mr. Whalen as the top managing partner for the week. Congratulations. Top direct is Edward Pritchett with $188,000. Top base shop is also Edward Pritchett with $65,000. Way to go. Some promotions for last month. Top producers, Teresa Sackman, Michelle Nord, Jenny Gray. You don't think that's the same Jenny Gray that was in all the movies in the 80s, do you?
It could be.
Dirty Dancing, I think. The Outsiders, I think. Maybe not. Dustin Westhoff. Don't remember him from any 80s movies. Could have been there, though. Zachary Booth for team leaders. Zachary Booth, Todd Lamarck, Lamarque, I'm going with. Michael Holmes, Lucine Smith, Jennifer Stanley, Janelle Jamott, and Brandon DeHaven. Congratulations, team leaders.
Nice.
Top key leaders, Kerry Aguilar, Daniel Barnes, Heather Morrow Brown, Landry Peterson, Michelle Nord, Teresa Sackman, and Manuel Gurola, I'm pretty sure. Congratulations, key leaders. 4 AOs for the week, man. I love to see it. Edith Schuster, Karen Young, Kip Kimboy, and Liliana Goebel. We will be seeing all of you at a hobnobbing event coming up very soon. And I can't wait. It's one of my favorite things is getting to know all the new agency owners. Congratulations, young Godfather. Christian Capistrano is our newest agency director.
Nice.
He kind of needs his own nickname. You're going to be living under the Godfather's shadow. I have to think that one through. Any recommendations in the Q&A for a new nickname for Christian Capistrano? We're taking all recommendations. Ian Graham, way to go. Regional agency director, man. That's awesome. Melissa Weagle is the managing vice president. The Godfather, Tony Capistrano, is a senior vice president. And here's Kevin Purdy, maybe who we were alluding to. Managing partner. Can we just pause for just a second and talk about what an amazing accomplishment this is for the Purdys? I don't know that it will ever be accomplished again. So for those of you that don't remember, Kevin Purdy, probably 8 years ago, was the first personal producing agent to top $100,000 in a month of personal production. And I think we've still only had probably 3 or 4 in the history of the company kind of go over that, because that's with capped production and everything. It's not like he went out and wrote a $90,000 IUL. Okay. And then fast forward, and he and I were talking about this just the other day, before he goes on this massive run and makes $100,000 of production in a month, there was a period of time where it was touch and go. We weren't sure if Kevin was going to stay with the organization because and this happened a lot back then. He was writing a lot of production.
but it wasn't getting approved. He was so great at the activity part, which is the hard part, but it was kind of chaos on the backside, right? Some of the stuff wasn't going approved, is being declined for whatever reason. Negative action cases happen, right? And Kevin was this close, Casey, to going and taking a part-time job, right? Now, Michelle swore to me the other day. She said, I wasn't going to let him quit. And I was like, well, we've heard that story before, you know. I'm going to go get a part-time job, right?
Yep.
And it's like people will oftentimes kind of settle when they're going through, you know, arguably the toughest time in their career. They'll settle and go back to what feels comfortable because sometimes they need to. They got to figure out how to pay the bills. And I think so much credit goes to Kevin and Michelle for kind of fighting through that. I remember you having conversations with them, Casey, at that time, and really kind of making sure, look, just come to conference, take a look. If you still want to have this conversation, we'll have it. But we'll have it after conference. Okay. And obviously here we are 8 or 9 years later, and Kevin, the Purdy organization is the first organization to have 3 directs break out in 1 year. And so people will look at Kevin and they'll say, man, I want to be able to do that. They don't look at how hard it was to get there, how much you fought, how much work went into it, the activity that goes into it, the ups and downs. For 10 years, building this base and this platform that you can scale. And then all of a sudden, man, it pops. Now he's the second managing partner, 3 directs, direct to him in 1 year, and 3 directs, I would say, in 6 months.
Yeah, it's been rapid fire.
It has been rapid fire. So congratulations to you, KP.
Are we ready to share who his third direct was? Can we do that?
I think that's probably going to be coming up. Let's see. Boom.
Oh, there it is. Congrats, guys. Well done. Well done.
Two of the most kind, loving people I think that we've got in the organization. We could not be more proud for Brad and Kira, man. It's been a lot of hard work goes into that, and you guys have just kicked butt. So congratulations to you guys, man. That's really exciting. Really exciting. Can't wait to have them on.
This business is it's about attraction, you know, because recruiting is a big component. Obviously, if you're trying to grow a business, that means you're trying to duplicate yourself. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I think Brad and Kira are such a great example of just, you know, when you are, when you are just a good person, you are real, you're authentic, you care about people, you're just attractive, you know, and you can't help but to attract other people like that to your business. And again, you know, we've from day one, the very moment we met Brad and Kira, we're like, yep, likable people. These guys are going to kill it, you know? And it's just been a very steady, I've loved to see it too, because sometimes you see guys come in and just have you know, unheard of crazy growth. And then they kind of take a dip. And then, you know, in the Gainey's case, to me, it just has seemed like a steady climb, you know? Not too fast, not too slow, just like steady, you know, the whole way through. And they may be thinking, no, that was a roller coaster all the way. But from our vantage point, I think a lot of people's vantage point, you guys have just been very steady and stable leaders. And, you know, I think at the foundation of leadership should be stability. You know, the very least what you owe your team and the people around you as a leader is stability and emotional stability.
Yes.
And, you know, you're looking at a couple people that are just rocks for their team. You know, they're emotionally stable and they can be counted on. And I just, you know, really proud of you guys.
Add real quick, because makes me so happy to see those two up there.
Yep.
Just, you know, watching and seeing their journey over the years, but just, you know, the other thing I had just authenticity, you know. Mm-hmm. I think I've met 2 more authentic people. When I say authentic, you know, they're not putting on a front. The level of caring and concern that they offer their team and the people around them, and just myself included. You know, every holiday, every big moment, they're the first person to send out a gratitude text, the first person to reach out and just wish you well and hope things are good in your life.
Yep.
You know, they're
always
they're feeling. So just
real
awesome.
Yeah, relationships matter. People come first. It's like that's Brad and Kira's tagline to me. You know, it's like they really take care of that aspect of life, you know?
Yeah, well said, man. Congratulations, Brad and Kira.
Nice work.
Can't wait to see who you're going to break out as your first direct. That's when it starts to get really exciting. I got some news hot off the presses.
Ooh, yeah.
Looks like there is a correction to the leaderboards. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. Wait, that's probably the ESPN news. That's probably the only news that we watch. So I don't remember what. That's the old news, isn't it? Palmer, he would know. It seems as if we missed Mike and Sarah Pappas as newly recognized senior vice presidents. So congratulations,
Hi,
Team
guys.
Papai. Way to go,
Well done.
guys. Yes, way to go. All right. Let's see what's next. Oh, yeah, Champions Cup. So remember, the Champions Cup is put together with a point system so that nobody can jump way ahead. And then everybody else is like, well, shoot, I'm done. So it's a 1 through 12 point ranking that we assign to the top 25. And here's how it shook out for the first month. Now that net place numbers have come in, Ben S. I think I don't like this first name, no last name. So for conference calls, can we start putting all the actual last names in there? Because that could be Ben Sivapur, Ben Stanley, Ben Schroeder. We can go on and on.
Brandon, we went through this phase where a lot of people asked we not because of recruiting purposes, but at this point with hiring group contractors for people piling into Quility, I don't think we're worried about that.
Well, I can understand not putting it online, but for these calls, let's do that. But here's the current point standings. We'll get these also on HQ. So congratulations to everybody on the point system here. Now restarts, don't forget, we're right in the middle of the restart. Every month it restarts. So Ben S is going to have to go out there and hit number 1 again to get 12 more points, or may end up number 21 down there with Javon Spencer. So, okay, so we'll see. Our number 1 direct, which isn't surprising to me, based on all of the stuff that we've seen Mr. Nate Offert with 10 points, number 1, because don't forget the way that directs work to even the playing field, we take your monthly average over the year and you get points above where you come in over the month. So Nate Offert obviously growing in this last quarter. So good to see, man. Congratulations also Jordan Janet, KP, Danny Young, and Jacob Pogue to round out the top 5. And then last but not least, we've got our corporate, man, this thing keeps kind of freezing up on me. There we go. Let's see here, get back to there. Boom. Our number 1 so far corporate producer, which is mostly QMS, Joshua Q. 70,420 points. Man, that's a big number. Congratulations, guys. Upcoming events before we get into some rollouts, we've got our Monday call. Jumping ahead, Thursday call, which is tomorrow with Ian Graham and Dana Else, the road to SNA, 6 apps in 6 weeks. Man, I love this. Thursday, we've got our final expense call with Mr. Gary Keith. And then on Thursday, also our corporate overview that evening at 7:00 Eastern, Kevin Purdy and Edward Pritchett. Man, that's like an all-star lineup, isn't it? All these calls. Yeah. Monday, as we're entering into the holiday, Zach Little, Tim Hepburn, Timothy Reisimus, Victoria Shue, and Jen Schmidt, all doing that Monday morning sales training call. We will have our DFLIVIN with Mike Resma. And then important to note, next Wednesday, the 22nd, no builders call, no national call, no calls at all on that day. We want to have everyone to have one more day in the field to go out and kill it before the weekend, which is Christmas. Okay. And we're going to talk about that here in just a little bit, Casey, just about Christmas and how to kind of make the most of the holidays. So stay tuned for that. Got some really important announcements. Return of Premium is coming for QLT. I've been talking with the crew, and it is launching for sure the first week of January, but stay tuned because there could be a little holiday gift for you sneaking in right before the deadline. ROP may be ready for you as early as next week. We don't want to roll it out until it's 100% ready on the platform.
but stay tuned for sure coming the first week of January. Might be a little earlier though. A lot of people took advantage of the bonus lead sale. A2s and A3s, 50% off through the rest of the year. If you haven't done that yet, do it. It doesn't do you any good just to buy the leads. You have to call them. So if you're going to go buy like 500 of them, is that really what you want to do? I mean, if you're going to call them, do it. But if you're just going to buy them, I wouldn't do that. Casey, this is an important one because there's a lot of people really trying to get that slingshot for the month. And as everyone knows, there's a consistency key. There's a consistency factor that goes into earning this this bonus.
That's right.
Okay? You have to, in a 4-month turn in, in a 4-week turn in, 3 out of 4, and a 5-week turn in, which December is, you have to turn business in 4 out of the 5 weeks.
Yep. And that's always based on submit, guys. That's all we're looking at, is that you submit an application at least 4 out of the 5 weeks on a 5-week turn in like December. So just keep that on your radar, because, you know, this slingshot bonus, when we look at the results that are happening from a volume standpoint, production standpoint across the board, this slingshot program is working extremely well. And that's because, you know, you as leaders out there are clearly putting your team's focus on it. So when you're onboarding people, you're making sure that the slingshot bonus information is in front of them. Just the power of kind of getting a new agent on board and setting these targets. I mean, the promotion guidelines in itself is such a piece of our secret sauce that people don't understand. And then when you put slingshot on top of that, and you start saying, well, in order to move from a 70 to a 75, before I had to do 2 months at 5,000 now, or at 2,500. Now you're saying I can go and do it in 1 month and hit 5,000 and get a 10% bonus. Like, just putting that in front of people consistently as you're onboarding, if you're a leader with us and you're onboarding people onto your team, making sure that everyone knows what slingshot is and what the targets are. One of the best things, again, kind of going back to engagement, that you can do for your team and for your overall growth. So keep up the good work, leaders. Keep putting the focus on it with your team, making sure that that's part of the onboarding process, that they're getting it at least once, if not more than that. Yeah, and it's working.
A couple of questions on this, Casey. Good stuff too. We'll clarify what the 10% bonus means, but the main question is, what if I start in the middle of the month? Your qualification starts the following month.
Yeah.
Okay. So you know, if you start on you submit your first piece of business on this calendar that we're looking at on the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd, you've started this month. You submit your business anytime after that, your qualifying starts the following month to reward that consistency piece. Okay. You also have the 10% bonus, 10% cash bonuses on your net placed premium.
All right.
Easy peasy. Is that bonusable only, carriers?
Spivey might be able to clarify that, but
I have my rules in front of me.
I think it is bonusable, carriers. It should be in the handbook.
Yep. Okay. See if there's any other
bonusable carriers, guys. The 10% bonus is off of bonusable carriers, and that's good to point out. All you AOs, make sure you're recruiting and teaching that out of the gates. Of course, some agents come in and get confused, and they get net placed 10 grand, but only 7,000 of that was with our core carriers. And that 10% bonus would be based on that 7 grand, not the total 10.
Yep. All right.
Yeah. And keep in mind, this is on the contract raises are on, you get to count agency volume in that as well. Right. So just as you do with your promotion guidelines, you know, when you're coming up through the ranks, remember, you know, you start kind of duplicating yourself early. It's going to make it easier for you to hit these targets. So as leaders, when you're talking to your team, this doesn't just count personal production for your contract raise portion. It counts your agency volume to hit that target as well.
Well said, sir. What's next? Oh, double production for ears. There was a little confusion on what double production for ears means. Double production for everyone. And what that really means is you're not getting double ears. You're getting double production that will go into qualifying you potentially to earn, or not to earn, to be gifted the ears. See how I corrected that, Palmer? Thank you. We don't know the exact numbers of where that falls in. We know what you have to focus on as the year goes by to fall within those top categories to earn the gift. right, to receive the gift. But what we don't know is what numbers specifically will I have to hit. What we do know is that when we look back last year at all of the people that received ears, there were a lot of them that got into a category above where they normally would have, or even entered into the round because of double production, because they took advantage of double production. So does it matter? Absolutely, it matters a ton. And the way that we always calculate this is you're getting credit for the activity of submit and credit for the placed. Okay. December 8th is when we announced it. It goes to the end of the year. So you need to be making sure that you're looking ahead at the calendar. And one great thing that I'm seeing as far as the calendar shakes out this year is Christmas Eve and Christmas Day are on not huge production days generally. Yep. Anyway, some of you may say, I do a ton of production on Saturday. Okay, that's great. But you can do that. You have a whole week leading up to that, just like you have a whole week leading up to New Year's Day. Okay. We want everybody to be around their families, enjoy some time off. And we're going to talk a lot about that here in a little bit. But we just always like to remind people that this is one of the best times of the year to be helping families, to be selling our products. Don't think that people don't want to buy or don't want to see you because there's a holiday on a Saturday. Don't think they don't want to see you the whole week, because they do.
Yeah. That's right. Can we just stay on that slide for a minute? Just talk about ears, since today is really just all of us for the most part. Kind of wrapping up this week and kind of heading into the holiday and heading into the new year. There's a lot of new people on board that are asking, what are ears? And we can quickly just remind everyone that ears, equity appreciation rights, was our way as a company of saying, we feel like we have something extremely special, and that thing also looks like it's extremely special to our industry and to the market. And so a lot of the companies that were in our specific space over the last few years just kind of sold their companies. And there's been a lot of consolidation, big companies coming in and eating up a lot of small fish. And when we decided, like, we're not going to go that route, we're not just going to kind of cash in, we're going to lean in. We said, let's actually reward the people that are helping us build the company and build the value, instead of cashing out and leaving everyone going, okay, great, what about me? We helped you build it. So ears was our way of saying, we're going to take 20% of the future growth of the company and we're going to spread it out amongst corporate and all of you guys, field. And so that's what the ears are. It's our way of saying, if you help us build growth, we will try our best to reward you for it. And so some of you are going, well, what is the ear worth? What is the equity appreciation right worth? It's worth nothing. The ears are worth nothing right now, because the ears are only worth something if there's a triggering event. If there's an event that happens to the company because we get in a situation to where we have a big strategic partner that wants to come in and actually partner with us, that could be a triggering event. It could be that there's an opportunity to go public as a company. That could be a triggering event. We're open to some of these strategies, but first and foremost, it's got to be good for the company. It's got to be good for you guys, and not just the people that have ears. It's got to be good for everyone, because when you really look at getting the company getting to a place like that, we're going to look back and we're going to see that the ears were truly, from a financial standpoint, kind of a little bit of a cherry on top. It's the actual growth that everyone listening right now, whether you have ears, whether you're going to get ears this year, what the company and the business and your business is going to go through for the next couple of years, the opportunity that's in front of us is the meat and potatoes of this thing. And so everyone needs to be focused on like if you weren't on the builder's call, that's a good, if you're trying to get some of this market share, you need to start paying attention to what we're telling you to pay attention to. And if you're building a business, that's a big component of it. So you need to be paying attention to recruiting numbers. You need to be paying attention to leads under management. Are you actually getting leads in the hands of your recruits? And then are you engaging them? Are you making sure that they're engaging in our company and in the things like Slingshot or in the other kind of things we were just talking about? So I don't know, Mark or Brandon or anyone kind of want to chime in on some of this, because I do think, if there are a bunch of new people on the call, having some time through the holidays to think about 2022 and how big of a year it's going to be, and how many new people starting with our company even right now have so much opportunity in front of them for the next couple of years and beyond, is just crazy to think about.
I think it's great for us to spend just a few minutes here. Mark, I would specifically like for you to talk, because we did get a lot of questions in the chat about what is an ear? What are ears? And I keep seeing questions on what is the production amount needed to earn them. Explain why you can't look at it that way. And first, I guess, explain, and Casey did a good job of it, but just to reiterate, what are ears? How does that benefit someone?
Ears are, Casey, I think, by the way, that was a great explanation. But ears are, they give you a right to participate in the upside, right, off of current value in a triggering event. So if there's a triggering event, an IPO or a strategic transaction, as you said, right, that'll be at a value, and we'll know that when it comes. And if you are a holder of ears, you'll be entitled to participate in that with the other shareholders, namely the founders, right, as well as other ears participants. And we've granted probably 14 million units to maybe 200 plus agents in ears. So there's a lot of people in the ears. Why? Because if you have the right to participate in that, it means you're going to keep doing what you were doing and doing it better to make the company more valuable for everybody involved, including yourself. Right? As people said, you can't really earn ears. There's no specific production number, right? It's not like do X dollars in net placed and suddenly you get Y amount of ears. It would never work that way. The way that ears happen is at the end of the year, we look at the agency owners and the major producers, and then we just apply a formula. Like last year, it included net placed, base shop, how many new writers you minted, things like that, right? Because as you know, it's not one number. It's not just net placed that makes the company valuable. If we were just chasing net placed and we weren't minting new writers or seasoned new agents or new AOs, we would all have less value, right? So we look at it as a valuation thing. And what we do is we say, all right, it's the end of the year. These are the top half of the AOs on a value basis. They had a robust base shop. They minted a lot of seasoned new agents. They minted a lot of AOs. They actually grew their agency, right? Just maintaining production, but keeping it flat is not the same sort of business as somebody who is increasing production 30% year on year, right? The second business is simply more valuable. That's just the way it is. So we don't have specific production numbers. We have criteria that I think most AOs probably know intuitively, like as well as just from our own teach-ins and training and just our own testimonials. Like these are the things that you need to do to make your agency more valuable. And if you don't know, we'd ask that you turn to the leaders in the company, including your uplines, to get guidance on that. And we've already told you a few of the things right now that actually matter. So top producers, top agency owner builders, we evaluated at the end of the year. And then those people who are in the upper half, we split up these participation rights and distribute them as gifts, right? To everybody who did the right thing, because we know they're going to serve as a beacon of light and an example, right, for what other people should do. And we know that they're going to do what they were doing and just do more of it. And it's going to help everybody out. Then if there's a triggering event, and we obviously believe there will be, or else why would we go through all this trouble? everybody will get an opportunity to participate in that, with the upside associated with the event if you're a year holder. Is that helpful?
Very helpful. Cleaned up all the Q&A.
Love it.
I like it. Got some more news hot off the presses. There was an error in our previous slide. The real hosts of our webinar, of our corporate overview Zoomy tomorrow night, is Ryan Miller and Brian Delaney. Still an all-star cast.
Right.
I don't think that's going to affect turnout one bit. There you go. So, Casey, one question I've got before we go to the next slide is I've had a couple of people ask, and I think you're the perfect person to answer this question. What does the saying "I'll be dogged" mean?
I'll be dogged?
Yeah.
It means like, wow, I wasn't expecting that. That's a surprise to me, or that's kind of how I would use it.
Right. Similar to like, I declare.
I declare. Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably not quite as Southern as I declare, but it's very Southern. So anyway.
Do you know where it comes from? Why be dogged?
I don't know, but I guarantee you we can get someone in the Q&A to give us the idiom lookup on
I'll be dogged.
Why I be dog. Palmer's already looked it up. I knew that was coming. He and I we're very infatuated with idioms and their originations. And okay, so give it to me, Mark.
Because I'll be dogged, I'll be confounded. Well, I'll be dogged. It's sort of like, what the hell? Unexpected.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Do we know where it came from? Who the first person to use it was, or?
It's sort of like, well, I'll be damned.
I can't say that. That's taking it too far.
That's why I just said what I said.
Right.
I wouldn't say that.
Yes, I declare, to be clear, is a little fancier way to say the same thing, but they're both from the South. So I be dog is a little more, Linwood says, is a little more redneck to say, I be dog. That was my son's first saying, Woods.
You know,
Mama, Daddy, ball, and then he
my
was
family
dog. My truck died.
My grandparents and my family would say "day law."
Yeah, now that I've never heard of anywhere, and I think that might just be a Watkins thing.
Day Lord, day law.
Has anybody ever heard? And Linwood can't answer this, or Pam. Has anybody ever heard anybody say "day law"? All right, let's move on. We're really getting sidebar nation today. Bam.
Yes.
40 wishes granted. $257,000 in money raised this year for Make-A-Wish only. We'll have updates coming in the next few weeks on what we raised as a company for the entire year. But man, if you were part of that event last week and you gave a little bit, you gave a lot, or you just tuned in so that you can be ready when you start making some money to give when you are ready, give yourselves a round of applause, because that's what making an impact looks like right there. You all should be extremely happy because you helped 44 families that are going through something that I can't even imagine. I know we have a lot of agents out there that have actually been part of this process, either received a wish as a child or received a wish as a family for their child. And they all say the same thing. Just what an incredible difference it made in the life of that child and the life of that family. So well done, everybody. That's a big one. And one of the biggest, I think, proponents of us partnering with Make-A-Wish is one of our really good friends. You may have seen him on TV. Did you ever watch that show, Weaver, Texas Ranger, Casey?
I did.
We have our very own Rick Weaver, star of Weaver, Texas Ranger, on with us to make a few announcements. So, Mr. Weaver, are you with us, sir?
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hey.
How's it going, buddy?
Going well. And thanks for the lead in. And absolutely, I could spend all day, but I won't, talking about what an impact Make-A-Wish Foundation does for families. I won't get into the story. You guys know it, but I have personal relationship with them. So you could not contribute and support a finer organization. And I'll stop right there. So kudos to what
Rick,
you do.
you guys have always been, always been right in there with us on anything we've done from an impact standpoint. But especially when it comes to Make-A-Wish, Rick, you guys have always just kind of been right there with us on it and helping to raise this kind of money. So thank you for your support in that.
Absolutely. Thanks, Casey. Thanks, guys, for allowing me some time, because I'm going to impart some really, really good news to 20 individuals. I think we all know that AMAM ran a sales contest exclusively for Symmetry agents from September 1 through November 30th. And I'm about to announce in ascending order from number 20 to number 1. I will say this, number 20, there were actually 7 agents within $1,000 of getting that 20th spot. So it came down to 1 application over 3 months, folks. But kudos to everyone, and here we go. And by the way, everybody, I'm going to announce and tell you the amount. There will be a direct ACH into your account within the next 3 business days. So pay attention to that bank account. At number 20, recipient $500 is Ashley Richard. At number 19, Gregory Hossman, also $500. Number 18, Stephen Barrington, $500. Number 17, Ish Martinez, $500. 16, Tom Fazio, $500. 15, Carlton Lear with $500. 14, Hannah Jacobs, $500. 13, Kent Bachman, $500. Number 12, Ben Seifaport, $500. And by the way, I hope I'm pronouncing all these names correctly or very close, okay? Number 11, Monique Alroy, $500. Now we're changing gears a little bit. In 10th spot, Victor Liberty, $1,000. In the ninth spot, Timothy Reismus, $1,000. In the 8th spot, Marty Valor, $1,000. 7th spot, Jesse Bachrock, $1,000. The 6th spot, Terrell Mackey, $1,000. 5th spot, Stella Dinwiddie, $1,000. And in the 4th spot, LaTanya James, $1,000. Now we're going to increase this a little more. In the 3rd spot, Clint Bedsole, $1,500.
That's a big one.
2nd spot, Carolina Morales, $2,500. And I'll call it the grand prize winner, number 1, with going to get $5,000 is Diedrich Robinson.
Nice.
Thank you all. Congratulations. We're so excited. And as I said, all the names I read, that money will be directly ACH'd into your account in the next 3 business days. And before I go, a couple of things I want to do. And again, I want to say congratulations to Symmetry Financial for their great year that they've had. And and for you folks that are new with them, if there's any of you on this call right now that aren't going to be in Denver, my question would be, why not? Simple as that. You need to be there. Be watching. In the first 45 days of 2022, AMAM's going to come out with several exciting product announcements. So we're going to kick off 2022 with a couple of great announcements that we hope will make your year. make what you do even more exciting, open up some new markets to some clients out there. I know there's quite a few of you on the call that are waiting to hear if you're going to Hawaii with us this coming June, and those qualifiers will be announced mid to late January. So stay tuned for that. And in closing, I just want to say to all of you on here, on behalf of not just myself, but everybody at AMAM here in Waco, Texas, we certainly wish you and yours a very happy and extremely safe holiday season. So thank you all so much for everything you all do for AMAM. And I guess for you, Brandon, roll tide.
Oh, great way to end it. Did you hear that, Spivey?
I think we're going double production with that now.
I was wrong on the score in the Iron Bowl, but at least I had the winner right for you, Brandon.
There you go. There you go.
Right.
Rick, thank you so much, man. You've been a great partner to the company for almost 12 years, a little over 12 years. You guys believed in us before anybody else did, gave us opportunities before anybody else did. And for those of you that are on the cusp of earning that trip to Hawaii, you need to dig in and figure out a way to make it, because what really kind of began our relationship with American Amicable was Rick extending an invite to Maui to us before we actually even earned it. And he always likes to say that it was the best bet that he ever took, the best gamble he ever took. And I would just like to say, Rick, thank you so much for not only making that bet, but in all seriousness, man, every bet along the way, every time we've come to you, every time we've needed anything from a partnership level with you guys, you've really helped us. Every conference we've had, every small contest, everything that we've ever done, AMAM has always really stepped up and been a big part of that. You were the first on the direct-to-consumer platform. There's just been so many things that you've really helped us do over the years. So on behalf of everybody on the call, we really appreciate you, appreciate the partnership, and can't wait to grow by another 40, 50%, if not more, in 2022. You don't have any surprises or secrets or hints on the convention? Have you announced the convention for 23 yet?
Yes, we have. And,
okay. So it's not a secret.
We're going to Buenos Aires.
That's right.
Yeah, Buenos Aires.
That's going to be a good one.
Man, I was really disappointed when that one got shut down. Yeah, from COVID. But
yeah. So yeah, we are fingers crossed. We're booked. We have the dates. So that qualification for you folks, will start January 1. So if you're just a new to Symmetry and new to AMAM, you're coming at the right time. Qualifications start January 1 and they continue through December 31, 2022. So
awesome.
And by the way, Brandon, the only bet I ever made that I knew was a sure thing was the one I did with Symmetry. So unfortunately, none of my other ones were guaranteed winners.
Well, thank you, buddy. We can't tell you how much your partnership has meant. Great. And we love you guys. Hope you have a safe holiday as well. Can't wait to see you in a couple of months. It's going to be a little reunion.
Take care, folks.
Thank you, Ricky.
You bet.
Rick,
oh man, one of our favorite people. One of my favorite all-time conference moments too, Casey, was when Rick was on stage with Joe and he starts having a little bit of technical difficulties, and he said, "You and I are standing backstage, and all of a sudden we hear, 'I'm dying up here. I'm dying. Somebody give me something. I'm dying.'"
Yeah, we're like, we know the feeling. We've been up there like that too. That's never fun.
I felt it for sure. Oh man, Quilly RX is live in 1 week, over probably pushing 6,000 now, over almost 6,000 cards sent in less than a week. We haven't even integrated it. A lot of agents yet haven't integrated it with their sales processes. So if you need more training, which all of you probably do, log into HQ for registrations. The recordings from last week, that webinar is there as well. There's sales marketing support, there's KPIs, everything you need. I can't tell you, Casey, how many exciting stories that we've heard from people over the past 7 days saying, this is going to save my mom
$200 on her medication. This is saving my family this, or this is saving my client this. So
yeah, I've heard some great stories from agents. In fact, if you have a good RX story already where people have saved money, post it in the comments. And I think we're going to have some social campaigns for you guys to hashtag some stuff too coming out soon. But man, spread the word. This RX card is really cool. It's saving people a bunch of money. And I think one of the first ones I heard was like $500 a month that a client was saving right off the bat. And then I heard another one the other day, like you said, that was like my client. I gave the RX card to my client. They were actually on the way to the grocery store to get their groceries and pick up their prescriptions, and called immediately, said, I saved like $220 on a prescription drug that I was taking. I was like, wow, man,
that's really cool.
That's a big thing for people, you know?
That's really cool. So there's going to be a lot of things coming in the new year that we're going to do to help you both market this, have it on your direct to consumer sites. There's a lot of things that we're going to be doing to really help you with it. So stay tuned. But in the meantime, over the holidays, many of you will be traveling or at least around family. It's a great opportunity to begin enrolling as many people as you possibly can. Any tips, Casey, on how you would do? It's like the easiest thing ever, I would say, because there's such great value in it. You're sitting around the table.
And yeah, I always just try to put myself, anytime I was in the field, the better I got, it was because I truly just like pretended everyone I was sitting with was my parents, and if I wouldn't do it with my parents, then I wouldn't do it. And if I were sitting with my parents, I'd sell them an insurance policy and I'd give them an RX card, and I wouldn't overcomplicate how I do that. I would just speak from the heart and tell them what I think they should do. And the area where you could get in trouble is trying to, manipulate the sales process by trying to find money on a prescription drug that you would save. I found you $200 a month because I think we can save you $200. So now I'm going to somehow formulate your premium to match what I'm saving you. I think that's where you get into weird no man's land. Don't go down that route. Sell the policy, give people the card. If you use the card sometimes, like if you're struggling on the phone for getting an appointment or something like that, maybe, I think we're going to learn a lot. I think we're going to learn some best practices from some of our agents that are actually, hey, I figured out how to actually book more appointments using the card, or I figured out how to close more appointments using the card. But the no would be insurance policy is the main priority, and don't try to find money to backfill the insurance premium. You're going to get yourself in a mess like that. But treat everyone like it's your family. What would you do for them?
Absolutely. There's so many good stories in the chats, and understandably, there's still a lot of questions, still a lot of things we're ironing out through training. So Spivey is going to be kind of just taking note of everything in here so that we can get some of these questions answered if we can't answer them live. But just kind of perusing through some of these comments, it's really cool. I saw someone that was able to save $500. My neighbor is going from $500 to $12 on their prescription.
I mean, that's life-changing for some
That is
people.
life-changing. That's life-changing. And we understand that it's not going to be something that positively impacts everybody, but it is going to be something that positively impacts a lot of people. Somebody here said that they ran an appointment with someone that they couldn't even retire because their prescriptions were so expensive. They were able to save them so much money on the prescriptions that they're completely reevaluating how their retirement is going to go and how quickly they can kind of get out of work. So that was from Marty Valor. But I think that there's just so many great opportunities to help people with this organization. And this is one of the easiest. Like literally everybody that I'm talking to, I would be sharing this with them, enrolling it with them, because you find one person, man, that you save $100, $200 a month. You find one person that you save $50, $75 a month. That's a big deal for a lot of people. You find somebody that you save $500 a month for, like you said, that's life-changing. So you got it, guys and gals. You just got to go do it. Start passing them out and enrolling people.
You be a person that adds value in people's lives. And when it comes to the business side of things, creating more clients, that takes care of itself. You're going to create clients by being someone who is a solution to people, you know, and it's not just your leads, it's your family, it's your friends. Like, be a solution. You have problems you have answers that can solve people's problems. Solve those problems, and the RX card is a good entry point for that.
Yep. Well said, buddy.
Everybody out there, keep your stories coming. I'm going to dismiss a lot of them. Doesn't mean we don't like them. Just means I'm putting them in a file so that we can read them all after the call. So keep them coming.
Nice
stuff. New lead fact sheets available. Palmer, you've been working on this one for quite a while. You've been working on it with Logan, with a lot of people in the organization. Not just you, obviously, but Mark, maybe I can kind of throw to you for just a second, and you can first talk about what is a lead tear sheet, you know, or a lead fact sheet. Why does it add value? How do people kind of utilize these things to help them become more profitable and to make more sales?
Sure. I mean, it's a new thing, right? And it's going to take some time for people to sort of, you know, get used to them and obviously increase adoption. But I would urge everybody to do it. I mean, the investments you make in yourself, you know, are obviously your time, your training, right? The things you do just to be better at what you do and to commit your time. But as this entire meeting started out, right, if we recall, it was leads, you know, with a whole video about it. So that's an important investment that you're making in yourself and your own business, right? Your own advancement. It's leads. And we took a step back and we said, you know, what's missing here, right? Well, you know, let's say which we do, we subsidize the leads, right? We support some of the costs so you don't have to support some of the costs. But if you subsidize something that isn't great, who cares?
Yeah.
Right? Like if I subsidize, you know, your car, but it won't start, or it's got, you know, your train, but it's got square tires, it's not that great, right? So we said, it's not just the subsidy, it's the value. What are these actually worth to you? And so we said, we're just going to be extremely transparent. It's an entire new way of doing things. Nobody else is doing this. And we're literally going to create a transparent and fluid lead marketplace. And what's critical for that? It's research. It's being able to tell the thousands of independent actors in the marketplace, this is what you're buying and why you're buying it, so you feel confident. So we literally created data sets that were 2 million large, looking back over 2 years to establish what is the APV for each type of lead, what is the close rate for each type of lead, how many referrals does it generate, right, to make sure we get all the value associated with the lead, what's even the time to app, what type of products does it sell, how fast does it book, every relevant trait that goes to the core value of the lead you're buying. And then we put them into lovely 2-page lead fact sheets. And the fact sheets tell you, this is what a typical agent in Symmetry does with this lead. And this is why when you buy this lead, you will get it at 4x value, 4.25x, 4.5. We also went into the underlying and said, you need to know this. These are the types of products that are sold. This is the way the lead was originated. These are the layers in the hierarchy that actually buy these leads. So you can see which of your peers are buying them. And then we took the next step and we said, why don't we look back over the last 6 months and see what do the top 10% agents in Symmetry do? What's their close rate? How much are these leads worth to them? How much money are they making on it? And so we said, look, a typical agent does this. This is what you do. This is how you make it work. And this is how you make money. So if you buy the lead for $40, this is why you're going to get back 160 and how fast that's going to happen. Right. But we took the next step and said, as long as we have the data, why don't we go figure out best practices and go ahead and let the world know. These are the top people. This is what they do. And like, for example, you don't just make 4.5x like you get on an A3 lead. It's not like you invest $5 and, you know, you get back $22.50, right? The people, the top 10% on the A3 leads, you know what their returns are? 20.7x. So these are buying a lead for $3 and they're getting back $60 on that investment. And this is what they do to make that money. And so the point of the cards, Brandon and Casey and everybody, was to take the knowledge we have internally and take the instinct that we've developed over the years just working with this, turn that instinct into data, make it very clear, this is the science behind the lead. This is why it's worth what it's worth. This is why you should buy this thing, just like you buy a share stock, right? And then we went the next step and said, oh, and by the way, the people who really know how to farm this land, the people who really know how to get yield out of these leads, this is what they're doing. This is what the data and science shows. So if you do this, you can do a hell of a lot better for yourself. And we published it. It's all right there in black and white and green.
Yep. Pretty sweet. It's a big deal.
Yes, sir.
Never been
Yes,
done.
sir. I know.
Well, again, most of our competitors that were in this space never even did their own leads, and so not only do we do our own leads, we lean into it and do it very well, and it's getting better and better as we continue to make sure that we kind of get the data in front of us as we're generating the lead, and we're also analyzing after we generate a lead. What are some things we can do to cut your time down, and making sure that when you do get around to that lead, that it's even warmer for you. Could it already even be an appointment at some point in the future? Yes, like these are all things we're kind of working on behind the scenes. So fun times.
Yep. And I would just say it's perfect timing, Mark, and your crew, that everybody, I should say, that really helped kind of put these together for the remainder of the year. As we said, we've got A2s and A3s on a 50% discount. So it's perfect timing to get people, especially new people, on the phone. Study these things. It gives you so much great information on how to approach these, what to expect, which I think is extremely important. Typically I think the older the bonus lead or the lower the category, the more activity that has to go into it, which is why the pricing goes down. But if you look at, certainly these A2s and A3 categories, there's so many of them on the shelves that are not getting work, that there is, especially with Quility level term, a ton of business that can be written with these. You just have to be willing to put in the activity. I wanted to bring over Mr. Spivey. Come on over here, buddy. I know your microphone was garbled. Well, mine's a Christmas holiday sweater, I should say. Looks like a candy cane.
It does look more Christmas.
It just has a little thing on there. But you've got special guest on for us.
Yeah, so Miss LaTanya James, if you're out there, you wouldn't mind hopping on and joining us for a quick second. We have you, buddy?
Hello.
Hey, LaTanya.
So thankful you could join us right quick, and just so much gratitude every time you come on and speak into the truth of what you're doing, what you're accomplishing out there. We get lit up with feedback that people love your heart, love your ability to train and teach others. And I just thought it was fitting. Casey and I and Brandon wanted to have you on for a second, because we're talking today about A1, A2, A3 leads. And what I would say to everybody is, over the last 6 months, LaTanya James is an individual that is closing over 20% of all of her A1, A2, A3 leads, and has over $210,000 in APV in the last 6 months, only on A1, A2, A3 leads. We're not talking A leads, we're talking bonus leads here. So LaTanya, tell us your experience with bonus leads. Why do you gravitate towards these? And I'll let Casey jump in with some questions as well.
Okay, well, hopefully, are you able to hear me? I'm outside right now and a plane just flew by, so it got kind of loud.
You're good.
You're loud
Okay.
and clear.
Okay, so as far as my experience wise, those are, the leads that I've always gotten. I've dibbled and dabbled in kind of all of the leads, so that I could kind of get a feel for how those leads are, how my production would be personally with those leads. And I just kind of found out that it is more so a mindset in regards to how you portray and how you look at, those leads. It's not about whether the lead, for me personally, it's not about whether the lead is 6 months old or 6 days old or, or 6 years old for that matter. It's about, your personality and how you catch and how you talk to the person that lead is behind, because you have no idea, what the perspective is for the person that you're going to wind up talking to. They may not have been ready 2 years ago, but now you've caught them at the right time, or now the elements have changed. And so now, they're ready. Or maybe 6 days ago, they purchased a home and maybe they didn't know what their finances look like, at that point. But now 6 months later, now they're ready. So it just kind of depends on, the person, as well as, the mindset of you as the agent, and you going into that situation, not looking at it as this lead is any better than the last. The lead is what you make it. And so you have to take that lead and you have to work it as this is a sale no matter what. That's kind of how I look at it.
Perception is reality, right? So
Absolutely.
if I approach a lead as first of all, try to never approach a lead as a lead. A lead is a client. A lead is a person. Right. They're all people that I'm talking to on the phone. But if I approach something like this is a old or crappy or whatever I'm telling myself, then your perception is your reality. If someone thinks the lead sucks, guess what? The lead sucked.
Absolutely.
That's what you think, and you're just talking about the mindset that is necessary, regardless of what type of lead you're working, to go into every lead with the mindset of this is a person that I have the opportunity to help. And people can hear that in your voice, Tanya. They can tell right off the bat whether you're just in this thing to sift through the dollars or whether you're here to help someone. And people may think that may seem hokey. It's not whatsoever. People can smell that from a mile away. And so you're clearly coming to the table the right way. Do you find yourself making, roughly how many are you tracking your dials or contacts or hours on the phone? And what is that for you, if so?
So I do track it just because consistency for me is key.
Yeah.
And so I try to work smarter and not always harder. If that is something to believe, just because, I have so many puzzles, pieces to the puzzle going on. So therefore, as far as how much time I spend on the phone, with the leads that I purchase, honestly, I probably, if I spend about 4 hours on the phone a day throughout the day, that's pretty much the average.
Yeah. You're spending 4 hours a day on the phone to book your appointments. And is that every day of the week, or is that just a few dial days, or how are you approaching that?
Well, so typically I'm on the phone Monday through Friday. And for me, because I typically do the majority of my business from home, so I am making appointments and I'm doing sales consecutively.
Yeah,
Latanya,
throughout the
I
day.
think that's important to say too. Like in that 4 hours, guys, Latanya is one of our agents that does almost 100% of her sales all through the telephone. But a lot of times when she's saying this 4 hours, she's dialing, and when she dials and she gets somebody on the phone that's ready to talk and be protected, Latanya's taking care of it right then.
Right.
One little nugget. Do you say anything different on the front edge of that call when it's a bonus lead or when you're working A leads? Is there a difference in your approach whatsoever? Is there a one-liner that helps you get into that bonus lead a little bit better?
For me, you know what? I would have to say no. I've tried that kind of, trial and error kind of helps. I tried to see if that would work for me, kind of approaching it a little bit differently. And that doesn't really seem to work so much because my thing is a conversational piece. And so therefore, when you treat each client or each person as they are unique of their own, that time span of how long ago this lead was or how soon they got the lead really isn't a factor. anymore. It's more of a concern of what it is that I need and what can you do for me or how can you help me. So you kind of go with the flow and go with where that conversation leads you, always knowing what the end agenda is.
Love it. Good stuff. We could pick your brain for the next hour, but
We appreciate you, Latanya, for jumping on.
No problem. No problem.
You
Thank
are
you.
a rock star, and we love you, buddy.
Thank you,
Love
Latanya.
you guys.
Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Yep.
Man,
good stuff.
Superstar. Unbelievable.
Tear sheets are in HQ.
Yep.
And I don't know exactly where in HQ because I'm seeing some questions around that.
Doug, if you want to jump on and first find that out, or
Yeah,
Jay,
it's in HQ. It's in HQ support under leads.
Yep. There you go. You nailed it.
Got it.
Just looking at it.
Good stuff.
Next rollout. We've been kind of hinting around at it. It is now live. All Owners Circle direct consumer platforms are updated with quality level term. John Hancock, and of course, American Amicable. It is a really cool and clean process. Doug, how much does it cost Owner Circle members all in to have their very own direct-to-consumer portal?
Well, the initial sign up for Owner Circle is $35 a month. There's a one-time setup fee, but after that, the direct-to-consumer portion is another $75 a month. So all in on a monthly basis, $110.
So think about this, everybody, because this is really important to really understand. You have the ability to not have one, but have 3 different products and carriers on your direct-to-consumer platform, which would cost you over $1 million to build on your own, if not a couple more than $2 million. You have access to all of that for about $100, $110 a month. You make a couple of sales on that, you're more than paying for it. You know, this product in particular, the SBLI product, and I think the John Hancock product as well, were meant for this. Okay. You guys are going to have so many opportunities over the holidays and then through the next coming years and months of next year, I should say, to really begin to market this the right way, to drive traffic to your own platforms. It's not meant to be for your leads. Okay. Now, there may be a small subset of those leads that you can kind of work this way, very small. You want to talk to or communicate, I should say, with your leads much more so than this. But this is a great way to kind of enter into the business with warm market. It's a great way to put it on your social media accounts to drive traffic there. It's your link. It's your whole site. It's your commission. We will be updating soon with the Quility RX cards as well, so you can enroll people there. There's so many great things from Owner Circle, but this one we've been so excited about, Casey. Everybody that currently has your direct consumer platforms already, you're leveled up today. You're good to go. If you're interested in signing up for Owner Circle, new signups for this are going to begin Monday on the Quility Tech page in HQ, but you have to be contracted with the carriers now in order to get that direct consumer. We're backing up against the holidays here, so anybody that's not currently contracted with us with a Quility level term or with John Hancock or with AMAM, you're going to wait until the first week of the new year before you have this.
Yeah.
Doug, well done.
Man,
so what do they need?
Awesome. Truly a labor of love, across the organization, a lot of hard work going into getting this live and ready for everybody. I would say all you need to have Monday is at least one of the 3. And that's the one that'll turn on immediately for you when you launch. And then there is part of the process as you're signing up is to request an appointment for the additional carriers if you don't have that in place already. If for some reason you're unable to get an appointment with one of the 3 carriers, that will just be automatically eliminated from the platform and it just won't show. So that is all, as we said, live actually now for existing members. So you can go check it out. Monday for new signups, just make sure that appointment's there. And then after the new year for folks that are brand new coming in and wanting to access this, we'll have a process available for you. But as Brandon said, the holidays get a little light around our carrier partners, which is great for them. And they need to go enjoy the holidays. There are some other nuances just to hit you with real quick. Please, if you do have this and want to sign up, make sure all of the writing numbers in HQ are accurate and up to date because it does pull from our database to apply those numbers to make sure that the system knows you are active and ready to go. And then for John Hancock specifically, make sure that you have all of your additional state appointments active and ready to go. They do require you to update those annually as they are renewed by you. And certainly a way to maximize this platform, of course, is to add those additional states and folks where you know you got people living, you know you got people that are going to come to the platform. We do have processes in place to accommodate that and make sure we can help you get that appointment and license and still have somebody buy the product. But certainly you're going to get paid faster and have a lot better experience for you on there if you're appointed and set up and ready to go. The last one to mention too, if you don't have E&O insurance, go ahead and get yourself some E&O insurance. It protects you, and it is a valuable thing. We sell insurance, and we want you to get it for this situation. SBLI does require E&O insurance for the QLT product. So, but I think the most awesome part, if you're on there, is it's the same process, 10 minutes or less for the SBLI product and the Hancock product. People are going to know if they're covered at the end. They will be covered at the end. So it's just awesome. I saw somebody in the chat mention that QLT was built for this, and we might have known that when we started this process that this would fit extremely well. But just the gamut of all those products on there really meets the wide range of clients, right? It's like if they're older than a certain age, they've got Hancock and AMM. If they're younger and they've got the opportunity to get QLT. So it really is a platform that we're pushing towards, you know, whoever it is that might land there and show up has something that they can buy and get themselves and their family protected. But I also believe we're just scratching the surface here on what will be available in the future for direct-to-consumer processes. So,
and for quality products just in general. Yeah, it's really a good point. I think 2022 is going to be such an exciting time with a lot of different products coming out that will be underwritten the same way, instantly issued and approved the same way. This is a big deal, and this is something that we're really, really excited about. And you know, for a lot of kind of the strategy to begin to take hold, it's been waiting on some of these things, the way that the product is underwritten from a digital standpoint, the way that we can market direct to consumer, not eliminating the agent, but empowering the agent. And there's going to be a lot of improvements in terms of also just how to help you become, how to help you drive more sales and drive more production really through your direct consumer platforms. We're going to be helping with social media.
The other awesome feature that exists out there is, you know, we have been able to create, so when you have this platform and you have owner circle, if a client stops, doesn't follow through with the process, right, you get a lead and it's available to you actually in HQ in your leads. So as soon as they drop or don't, you've got the information you need to get in touch with them, follow up and figure out what happened and get them covered. So you know, I know we're all excited here behind the scenes of just knowing what this platform, you know, it's a living, breathing platform. The recruiting funnels are there. They're going to be going under a review and update, just like all pieces of this platform, because as we push the disruption and revolution in this industry, we're constantly behind the scenes looking for ways to improve, to have the right features, functions, and products, so that this thing just becomes, you know, not a replacement for what you do, but an accelerator and a catalyst to everything you're trying to do out there to get folks protected.
Well done, sir. Thank you, Mr. Zay. I know you said it's been a labor of love. There's been a lot of people that have obviously assisted with you and helped with this, but I think most importantly, up to this point, you've kind of ran the show on helping to get this piece built out. And if I'm an agent out there, I'm really excited about this one.
I will give all the credit goes elsewhere. Specifically, I'll call out Mr. Dylan Hensley and Karina Smith, who've just been behind the scenes making sure this stuff gets live and ready to go, in addition to our development teams and everybody else and our wonderful marketing team get things designed. But awesome stuff.
I'm excited, man. They're building out my owner circle page as we speak, Palmer, Casey. So there's going to be like an internal.
I was going to ask.
I was going to ask. 50% contract, right? You said 50% contract.
That's right, man.
Ready to go.
That's
We have
right.
like 800, don't we have like 800 owner circle sites, which I'd only make the point, one, that's 800 too few. So if you don't have one, get one while the getting's good.
Right.
And two, what's the sound of 800 direct to consumer instant issue insurance websites, little high-tech digital businesses all lighting up at the same time? What's that sound like?
Cha-ching.
That's what
Gonna try to find the cash register sound. I'm assuming that's what you're going for.
Sounds like music to my ears if I'm an insurance agent these days. And I think more importantly, it's music to your ears if you're a client, because this process in how you get a quote, how you get coverage, how you go through that whole process is revolutionary. And we can't say it enough. There is no one out there doing this the way that we're doing this. There are some people that have finally realized from a direct consumer standpoint that they should be doing it or need to do it this way, but it's going to take a long time, and they're still not doing it from an underwriting and delivery standpoint. So exciting times for 2022, gang. What do we have next? If you haven't registered for conference, there will be many more things that we're going to be rolling out. So please get registered, and most importantly, get your hotel booked. There is no deposit required. And if you cancel within 72 hours of conference, then you can get you won't be charged anything, but there is no deposit. Get your hotel room. Some people said that they may have understood or heard from somewhere that we wouldn't be having a conference. That's not my understanding. We got every intention of seeing all of you in Denver, February 2nd through 4th. And at this point, Denver has every intention of hosting us. So obviously, especially during these times, you never know what the future holds with new announcements, but there is nothing that we've heard or anything that's come out recently that's going to prevent this. We will update everyone at the very first of the year with what some requirements may begin to look like, not placed by us, but placed by the city and the state. Nothing to be alarmed over, because there won't be anyone rejected unless you test positive for COVID. And at that point, obviously you should be. So get registered, guys. Early bird pricing is up. I should have clicked this link here a second ago. The Quility event app is no more. We got a better app coming out January 5th. And as I said here earlier, get your hotel rooms booked. It's filling up fast, and we want you to have a good room close by, all that good stuff. Casey, it's kind of our favorite time of the year. We always say that the last quarter is our favorite time of the year to sell insurance, because it just seems like insurance carriers love issuing business this time of year. But I think it's also important that if things do slow down for you over a couple of days, what is the most productive things that you could be doing with your time? And we wanted to get Meredith on, Doug's on as well, just to really kind of hit on how to get the most out of the next 2 to 3 weeks. Casey, for you and I, when we were in the field full time, we tried to work around the holidays as much as we could. And I think consistency is so important in this business that, if you're able to squeeze in a handful of sales during a holiday week, then you need to do that. And some people will say, I'm able to squeeze in 10. I'm able to squeeze in 15. It's those that are willing to kind of put the activity in. Those are going to be the ones that get the results, right? Resources are not a problem. Activity is the only thing standing between you and seeing clients. Some of them for sure are going to say, I need to handle this after the first of the year. Most of them will not. And I would also say, as a reminder, take advantage of this 5-week turn-in. Builders, set the new bar for yourselves. And most importantly, Casey, coming into the new year with, activity behind you, with the wind at your sails, as opposed to, I've taken 3 weeks off and now I get this desperation and I have to make sales because I have bills to pay. I need to get leads. Like, guys, it doesn't have to be that way. And it took me 2 or 3 years of selling insurance in this industry before I really understood it didn't have to be that way. Insurance carriers will take your business. They will issue your business. Clients will invite you over or hop on a Zoom or a phone call with you, just like every other part of the year. But there's also some important things that can be happening outside of just those activities. And that's why we wanted to get Miss Meredith Ellison on. Meredith, so good to see you.
to see you too,
We had a
baby.
good little talk about this yesterday, Meredith, when we were all talking about, how we all kind of intentionally go through holiday times like this. And, that balance between, because everyone's in a different position and, what is, as leaders, what are we communicating to our team? Because we are a company that's about time and money. And we don't want to get through the holidays and it's kind of, the messaging be everyone's got to stay in the hunt. You need to be working on Christmas. You need, and then there's the other side of the coin that like freedom is earned. And I've also been in a spot where I took too much time off and I had not earned the freedom to do that because of where my business was. And so like, how do you, first of all, how do you address that, Meredith, that balance? And then second, what are some intentional things as leaders that we talked about yesterday to get through this time and to make sure we set ourselves up for the year in the best possible way?
Yeah, I say this a lot. Brandon loves it when I say this, but it's both and as we grow older, like paradox is like the key to life is understanding this thing. It's like, how do we, that tension between pushing hard, but also really knowing the moment you're in and to really stop and restore, and because we're not machines, we're human beings. And we really, if we don't create space and to fill up and bandwidth and connect with those, a lot of us didn't have this opportunity a year ago to connect with people that meant the most of us. We were all very separated. But to work hard, but also when it's time to drop, to really take that and drop and to make sure you're dropping with things that fill you up. I think so many times when we have dead space, because a lot of us are not used to it, we almost waste it. Maybe we spend too much time on social media. Maybe we don't know what to do. And but to plan for those days and times on what fills you up. And I think it's fair to say, like, sometimes family fills us up and sometimes family doesn't, So if we're around, and it's exhausting sometimes. So to just really be intentional it's that know yourself to lead yourself, knowing yourself, what does fill me up? And this is the beauty of what we do is we have the opportunity, we're business owners, to create space to honor that part of ourselves. So I just think it's important. It's a beautiful time of year naturally for reflection, to really think about what we cherished about this last year, but also areas maybe we didn't show up to our full, where we value things the most. Doug, you and I've talked about this before, just because we value something, it doesn't mean we're always hitting that, and to truly, sometimes they are aspirational and be like, okay, I know what my values are and I didn't hit that quite this year. And here's what I'm going to do to get better. It's not about beating ourselves up. We're human beings. It's going to ebb and flow. So anyway, I know at the end of the year, it's just a natural thing, but to just totally take reflection, and gratitude. The last couple of weeks on our L10, we've been starting with gratitude, and it doesn't get old. It doesn't get old. And to just look people in the eye here and tell them how much you appreciate them and how much you love them. So anyway, that's just kind of, it's like it's always like we push hard, but there's also when it's time to slow down, truly slow down, because January, you're going to want to hit the ground running, going into conference. That power of knowing how to fill up January to go in at your biggest month ever into conference. But sometimes it requires slowing down to speed up and to use time now to do that.
And the slowing down too, I know you guys do this as well, but something that Sarah and I do is, we've just been a lot more intentional about kind of talking about what are things in our life that aren't going the right way, or what are the things that are stuck, or what are the areas we're just not really doing anything in that category like we want to be. And to kind of look at it from a category standpoint, you kind of have like we look at our business, our finances is one thing. We look at our friendships, we look at relationships a lot, family and friends, and like where are the areas that we can kind of, and what can we actively do I don't want to call them New Year's resolutions, but it's the time of the year where you kind of do have some time to intentionally think about these categories of your life and to just start to dream a little bit. We're going into Reimagine Conference, and we've, you and Brandon have done this exercise recently. Sarah and I have done this exercise, and we're probably going to ask a lot of you guys at conference to do this exercise again once you understand what we mean by reimagine. But to think about those categories in your life when you have some free time over the holidays to say a year from now, December 15th, 2022, what does my business look like? What do my relationships look like? What do my finances look like? Whatever category you're thinking about, put some intentionality around where are you going to be in a year? Where do you want to be in a year? Just putting that out in the atmosphere is such a big thing. And I got to say, there was, a lot of our life where we were never really that intentional about thinking like that. And I just think it's such a game changer. And I think that a lot of people maybe miss that. We have this free space. What should we do with it? Let's game plan.
Yeah. Some of it's game planning. Some of it's dreaming.
Yeah.
It's just the visioning process, because you're not going to get to where you don't know where you want to be, if that makes sense. And sometimes you don't know where you want to be because you just haven't taken the time to sit down and say, what, like you said, what do I want for my relationships? What do I want for my business? What do I want? And be very specific. What do I want my day to look like? When I wake up, the beauty of this business is, man, this is your world. You can work when you want to, you can work where you want to, you can work how often you want to, and all that is going to be determined by just the visions that you have for what you want your life to look like, And I would say look up around you at, any of our great leaders. And I think so often people say, man, I'd love to have that lifestyle, but were you willing to put that work in that allowed them to get where they are now? So I think it's such great advice. Meredith may have had to jump. I know she's got to go pick Levi up, but it's such great advice on the best thing that you can kind of get out of the holidays. Man, just paint your picture.
Yep. Zoom out,
sit down, and do it with whoever has a role in this life with you. If it's your kids, if it's your spouse, if it's a partner, if it's a business partner, if it's just you, that's fine. But the Cooks did this exercise, I think, recently on their. They had a management team meeting, and I think it went exceptionally well. But be specific, paint your picture. What do you want 2022 to look like for you? And goals are a part of that, but I think it's more than that. What do I want my free time to look like? And then you'll get this clarity around what you're fighting for. And when that becomes clear, it's really hard to sit still. It's really hard to not be motivated to do the work, to put in the activity, and to do the things, because you all of a sudden have a clear picture of where you're going. I think that's where it needs to start. If not, this business can get tough. It can create, like any business where you're in charge of kind of creating your own destiny here, it can wear you out because you don't really have clarity around what's worth fighting for and what's not, And so you hear all these people that you're like, man, why were they being so weak? They got bent out of the frame and quit because somebody on their team quit, or because a client was mean to them, or because a policy. It's like they weren't willing to put in the work it takes to become something really special because they had no idea what the hell they were fighting for. And that's what it starts with.
Yeah, they never plugged it in the GPS, never thought about what am I actually driving for here and why.
Yeah. And it's got to be more than I just want to pay my rent,
Yep.
I ain't gonna get
it's got to be bigger than that. And the stronger that why gets, the faster you're going to run, the more energy you're going to have along the way. When adversities come your way, you're going to put your head down. You're going to bust right through those walls a lot easier. But you got to take free time and put it to use. And that use to me is like zoom out on life a little bit, zoom out on business, get perspective on it all, because it's hard to do that on the day to day. All of us are in the trenches. This year we have fought like crazy together. and we've all had our heads down. And so when you do get that extra space, that's the time when you got to, like I said, you got to zoom out and figure out what you're doing, what you're fighting for again.
Yep.
Because there's, from the business front, which you're going to, impact a lot of these buckets and categories we're talking about. Massive opportunity on the horizon.
Yep.
Massive opportunity.
Yes.
And we just got to be ready for it as a company. And we talked about on the builders call, like, it's time to execute. It's time for everyone in this company that wants a piece of it to be the CEO of their business, and to not blame it on this or not blame it on that. If I'm not hitting the key metrics that I need to be hitting every single week, it's on me, and I've got to problem solve that. And I've got to make sure that I'm hitting those marks. And it's kind of huddling up with the team. If you're leading or if you're being led, it's huddling up with your mentor and understanding what those 3 or 4 main drivers are in growth of your business, and making sure you're paying attention to that stuff. Quit just expecting production to come because you're energized about it, or you have huddle ups with your team. I'm kind of doing all the things but I'm not paying attention to the main things that matter in business. Make 2022 about deciding what those few things are and executing them and being on it every single week with your team. And when you're not hitting those things, it's on you. And you've got to figure out how to solve those issues. And again, those 3 main things, if you're wanting to grow a business and to kind of get some of this market share we're talking about that we're going to be experiencing, it's duplicating yourself, namely recruiting. That's how you do that. It's leads under management, and it's engagement. And there's 3 or 4 things under engagement, like watching SNAs, watching Slingshot. All of that stuff, though, is fueled by, are they engaging on the huddle ups? And what am I talking about on my huddle ups? What am I talking about on my team calls? Am I talking about the things that drive and are the kind of passive motivators for the team, like hitting the SNA mark or like hitting key leader? Am I recognizing that stuff? That's what I mean by engagement. But you can be as engaging as you can with your team about this stuff. And if you aren't filling the recruiting bucket up, and if you're not getting them leads, none of that engagement matters. So it's those 3 things. And so I think everyone, as you're leading your team through the holidays and getting ready for 2022, it's about execution. CEO of your own business, everyone.
Yep. Very well said, man. I don't think there's much else anybody can add to that, other than we hope that everybody has a really safe, a really happy holiday. Those of you that are traveling, take the necessary precautions. And I think I hope that everybody gets a chance, if nothing else, to just reflect on what a great year it's been for the company. I know that it's been a really tough year in a lot of aspects. But we're so happy with kind of the future of where things are headed. And, I hope that everybody can just take some time to find gratitude for all the things that are around them that make their lives the way that they are, and that bring them the joy in their lives. Take the time to do that. Take the time to do the things that Casey and Meredith were just talking about. And I promise you're going to be in a very good situation come 2022, because you can't sit still when you're fired up. When you know where you're going, when you have the direction. Jimmy Spildiner taught us that a long time ago, man. You can suck really bad at this business, but when you got the desire to figure it out, you will figure it out, and you will get massive results. So we hope everybody has a great holiday. We will talk to all of you first part of the year. And if there's anything that we can do for you, please don't hesitate to let us know. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
See ya.